This is an article from the Telegraph Online, which is a mainstream newspaper in the UK. They are reporting that Deontay Wilder earned an estimated $14 million, which is £10.94 million for the fight against Tyson Fury, while Fury earned $10 million, which is £7.82 million. Journalist Mike Coppinger is reporting, according to his sources, that the Wilder Fury pay-per-view figures are over 300,000 buys. And I've seen a revised figure from Mike Coppinger since he posted this tweet, which is 320,000 pay-per-view buys. So that's the estimate that I'm going to go with to do the calculation that you're going to see in this video. So let's say 320,000 pay-per-view buys for Wilder Fury. The break-even point, according to Coppinger, was 250,000 buys. So up until 250,000 buys, they're just recouping costs for the show. After 250,000 buys, they're making a profit. So 320,000 minus the 250 for recouping the profit is 70,000 pay-per-view buys that were profitable. So it's $75 per pay-per-view. So let's do the calculation. 75 times 70,000. $5,250,000 is the profit that Wilder Fury would have made based upon these figures. So 5.25 million. In pounds, have I got the number of zeros right? Yeah. Just double checking. In pounds, that's 4.1 million pounds, basically. So the whole show, according to current estimates, did 4.1 million pound profit. Now, some people are going to think that sounds terrible. It's a tiny amount of money in the context of boxing when fighters are making these enormous multi-million pound purses. But in the context of the current pay-per-view climate for boxing in the United States, it's actually not bad for the show to make a little profit. Now, fighters on the level of a Wilder and a Fury, world level fighters, they normally get a cut of the pay-per-view profit. They don't normally get all of it, as far as I'm aware anyway, but they do get a cut of it. I don't know what the cut of the 4.1 million pounds Wilder and Fury will get. And I also don't know whether these estimated purses for Wilder and Fury include an estimate for the pay-per-view cut they're going to get. I have no idea. Perhaps they'll get a little extra on top, or perhaps it's already accounted for in these figures. Maybe you guys have got some information on that. And if you do, please drop links in the comment section below. And Coppinger points out here, because people are saying 300,000 or 320,000 pay-per-view buys is poor. Mike Coppinger is saying, just to put it in context, Triple G Lemieux, Ward Kovalev 1 and 2, and Triple G Jacobs all failed to break the 200,000 plateau. So in that context, 320,000 pay-per-view buys is a success. And they've turned a profit, even though it's a modest profit, they've still turned a profit. And I say modest in relative terms, because obviously if any of you or even me made a profit of 4.1 million pounds, we'd be laughing all the way to the bank, right? But in the world of boxing, when these people are making crazy amounts of money, it appears to be a pretty modest profit. But still, it was far more successful than any of the pay-per-views that Mike Coppinger has mentioned there. And you would have to imagine that the next time these guys fight, the pay-per-view would be bigger. Although Ward Kovalev 2 was smaller than the first Ward Kovalev fight. I don't know what the reason was for that, but it is what it is. One thing I can say is Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury are a lot more marketable than Sergey Kovalev or Andre Ward. Andre Ward is this clean-cut Olympian, yes, but you look back in the history of American boxing, there have been some clean-cut fighters who the American public liked, but generally a lot of the most popular fighters were the controversial ones. The Mike Tysons, the Muhammad Alis, so on and so forth. Evander Holyfield, look, he's not a perfect human being, but the image that he gave out to the public was this clean-cut Christian man. And he had his following, but he was never anywhere near as popular as people like Mike Tyson. Never, not even close. In fact, Riddick Bowe really was more popular than him for a time when they were both fighting. So the American public like a controversial, outspoken, loud, brash figure. And you're seeing it even in UFC today. So many of the UFC fighters talk trash. That's what the American public tend to like. And when you've got Andre Ward, who doesn't talk trash, and you've got Sergey Kovalev, who doesn't speak English that well, and they're not heavyweights, it's difficult to market a fight like that, a rematch or a first fight. Whereas with Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, they're two larger-than-life characters. I think in the United States, they're looking at Tyson Fury as kind of like a Conor McGregor type character, but for boxing, and a much bigger man. And with Deontay Wilder, they've got this, brash, seemingly confident country boy from the South who's knocking people out with freaky farmer strength. So I think that it's likely, I could be wrong, that Wilder Fury 2 would do even better pay-per-view figures than this, particularly because Wilder Fury 1 caused so much controversy and there was so much drama in it. But we'll see. In my opinion, 320,000 buys is a decent amount. It's nowhere near the 500,000. It's nowhere near the million mark or anything like that. But it's still a decent amount. However, when you take into account the fact that Deontay Wilder turned down more money than he got for fighting Fury to face Anthony Joshua and called it crackhead money, you really do have to wonder what Deontay Wilder and his team's motivation was. If they've only made $14 million or £10.94 million, why were they turning down Anthony Joshua's offer? Anthony Joshua's not his last offer, because they didn't reveal exactly what his last offer was, because it was a percentage, was the last offer that Eddie Hearn talked about, offering Wilder a percentage. The offer before that was $15 million. I believe that was in dollars, $15 million. Initially, it was $12 million, then they upped it to $15 million. So he would have made an extra million on top for fighting Joshua rather than fighting Fury. And if he got a cut of the pay-per-view numbers on top, even more than that. So the question is this crackhead money, Deontay Wilder? The $14 million you made for fighting Tyson Fury? Is that crackhead money? Because you said the $15 million that you were offered for the Joshua fight was crackhead money. I mean, explain that. Yes, I know the Joshua fight is a bigger fight, but look, crackhead money is crackhead money. And there's no way on earth that $15 million for facing a man in the ring can ever be considered crackhead money, particularly when it's your first ever pay-per-view. Yeah? Wilder versus Joshua would have been Wilder's first ever pay-per-view, just like this one was. So, yeah, you guys can discuss that in the comment section below. You can also discuss these figures. And let me know what you think. All right, it's Hatman, I'm out. Join me on Patreon. I upload a minimum of 2 podcasts every single week, covering a wide variety of controversial topics, as well as live stream Q&A sessions. Take a look on screen right now at some of the podcasts I've produced so far. For just $3 a month, the equivalent of about £2 a month, you get access to all my new podcasts and my entire back catalogue of past podcasts, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen on your computer or on your smartphone or tablet by downloading the Patreon app from the Google Play Store or the App Store for free. The Patreon app also allows you to download each podcast in MP3. For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to dozens of hours of exclusive content. It's easy to sign up, there's no contract, and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of free and critical thinkers by signing up with me here on Patreon today.